Okay, great. I hereby call to order this meeting of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Wednesday, October 13th, and the time is 10:02 a.m. Would those commissioners that are in attendance please identify themselves?
Morning.
Please identify themselves and state as to whether they are here in person, via Google Meets, or via telephone.
This is Eric Feinstein, and I'm here by Google Meets.
I am Scott Fletcher. I am here via telephone, and we hope to add Commissioner Pennington here shortly. Let's press on. B is our new business. E1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, and 5-229, the new license application submitted by Mr. Cesar Verduzco, doing business as Black Diamond Promotions for a 2021 promoter's license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Mr. Verduzco's application, please?
Yes, Mr. Cesar Verduzco is very familiar with the boxing and MMA industry. He was helping Iron Boy Promotions from aside for a couple of years. Now he wants to reach out and co-promote with him for the two events that they want to have for the rest of the year, and hopefully for the next year he could promote boxing and MMA on his own, and he's willing to co-promote with Iron Boy as well. We got the financials back. Everything seems okay. I've met him several years ago. It's a great promotion. It's going to be great for Arizona. That being said, I do recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Mr. Verduzco, are you with us right now?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Commissioner Feinstein of Fletcher.
Yes, and thank you for calling in. I've always been a big fan of the events you've been a part of in the past. Can you kind of describe what it is you're hoping to do should you be licensed?
Yes, like Director Becerra mentioned, I've been directly involved in boxing for the last 3 years, mostly behind the scenes. I have a great working relationship with the industry and work with Iron Boy, and I have I leverage a good relationship with the boxing sanctioning organizations in both amateur and professional. So what I'm looking is to create more exciting events for the state, for starting next year too, and in order to start well, and I'm seeking to get the proper license to start my contract negotiations.
Very good, thank you. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Verduzco?
Yeah, do you have a time frame in mind on when you would like to put on your first event?
Yes, we're looking for the beginning of next year in the spring. We would like to have 10 shows, events a year per year, 5 boxing events and 5 MMA events per calendar year. So we're looking our pre-inaugural event in the spring of next year, and then the inaugural a month later.
And what will define your organization? I mean, what is going to be the differentiator of your promotion versus some of the others? What will make it stand out?
Thanks for the question. What I'm trying to do is I'm currently on talks with a few cities on maybe having our own space, or arena. So that way we can have all our combat sports here, even other promoters, to use the arena and establish a combat sports venue, so people, when they come to the state, they can say, you know what, you need to go to enjoy a good combat sport in the city, any city, That's what I intend to do a little bit different.
Great, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Pennington, are you with us by chance? All right, it's a two-man band until we hear his voice. Mr. Verduzco, the cards you've been part of, I thought, were beautifully run. The matchmaking was very good, and your ability to fill the room again, another skill sets that a promoter has to have was good as well. So I'm excited about what you're talking about. If there are no further questions, the chair would be open to a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, 5-229, that we approve the new license application submitted by Mr. Cesar Verduzco, doing business as Black Diamond Promotions for a 2021 promoter's license.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Congratulations, Mr. Verduzco. We look forward to your future events.
Thank you very much, commissioners and Director Becerra. You know, I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to try exciting events to our state.
Fantastic. We're glad to have you aboard. Take care now.
Thank you.
All right, let's press on to item B2, which is pursuant to areas sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Ryan Bader for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Mr. Bader's application, please?
Yes, all medical requirements are in. Mr. Bader has been competing since 2007, fighting at the top organizations since 2008. He is currently the heavyweight champion for Bellator, and if approved, he wants to fight quarterfinals for a light heavyweight title. That being said, I recommend we approve.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions? Is Mr. Bader with us? I guess I should ask first.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Commissioners, questions for Mr. Bader?
Mr. Chairman, this is Joe Pennington. Has Carlo reviewed Mr. Bader's training regimen and have any information on that for us?
I haven't spoken with Mr. Bader, but I'm sure he's willing to answer any questions you guys might have.
And Mr. Bader, if you would, I know that you've been competing for a long time and you're a very top quality professional, but if you would, please let us know what your training regimen has been.
Yeah, it's the same as it's always been. You know, I'm competing at the highest level right now. You know, I'm doing 2 to 3 a days. This is my full-time job. I'm at the top of my game. Like you said, I'm currently the heavyweight champion. I was double champion at 205 and heavyweight, and now I'm currently trying to regain that 205 title again. So nothing has changed. I feel great as ever, and you know, I'm no injuries. I'm doing everything possible to be successful in this fight.
Mr. Chairman, that's all the only question I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. We're glad to have you back on board. Commissioner Feinstein, questions for Mr. Bader?
Yeah, can you just tell me a little bit about that? I assume there must be some weight cut if you've been fighting at heavyweight and you're going to get back down to 205. What are you walking around at, and how you're going to accomplish that weight cut?
Yeah, weight cut is really, really good. I've fought twice now at 205 in my last 2 fights, and so my body's acclimated. I was 214 this morning, and it's currently Wednesday. Weigh in on Friday. You know, so 9 pounds there, and I'm currently also water loading, and so a lot of that is water. So it's going to be no issue whatsoever. I've never missed weight in my life. I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I wrestled at ASU for 4 years competing. I redshirted 1 year, and so it'll be no issue whatsoever. 9 pounds, a couple of days out from weigh-ins. Like I said, I'm water loading. I'm eating every single meal, and so no issue whatsoever.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Bader, it's assuming you get licensed, it'll be nice to see you fighting in your hometown. So
finally, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sleep in your own bed and just drive down to the fight. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm at the hotel right here, keeping it routine as normal. But yeah, it'll be nice to have friends and family there.
Good for you. Best of luck Saturday, assuming you get licensed. The chair would be The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant Ryan Bader a 2021 professional MMA athlete license pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, being a fighter over age 36.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Bader. We'll see you on Saturday. Right. Let's press on to B3, which is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 228, and AAC R19-2-C604, persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Mukamed Berhamov for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Mr. Berhamov's application, please?
Yes, all medicals and requirements are in. Mr. Berhamov has been competing since 2013. Most of his fights are in Russia. He currently has a record of 9-1, and if approved, he is also going to be fighting this Saturday for the Bellator event. That being said, I don't know if you guys have any questions for him.
Mr. Becerra, do you have a recommendation?
I do recommend we approve.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Berhamov?
Mr. Chairman, has Carlo had an opportunity to discuss Mr. Barkarov's training regimen?
No, I have not. They did tell me that they were in traveling and in the host hotel, so they are all here present. He's right here if you have any questions for him.
Great. If he would, please describe your training regimen for us.
Mike,
Mr. Go ahead. Mr. Berhamov, are you with us?
can you hear us?
Yeah, he can hear.
Mike, can you please ask him about his training regimen?
So they want to know how you're training. Like what do you do for training?
Training.
Like what do you do?
Everything.
So he does just the standard. He's been doing his standard training in Russia pretty much for the last 5 to 6 weeks. What's your weight right now?
Wait, 82.
82. Right now he's at 82 kilo. So he has about 6 or 7 more to go.
Pounds or kilos?
Kilos.
And that was how many?
82.
Okay, and he has how many more to cut?
About 7.
So that's about 15 to 20 pounds?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have any issue or think that he'll have any issue making weight?
No, he's never had an issue making weight with us. He's always been pretty healthy. Never had any. Most of his same thing is Bader. A lot of water loading.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Okay. Commissioner Feinstein, any questions from you?
No questions for me.
Okay. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
I move to approve a new professional MMA athlete license for Mr. Mohamed Berhamov pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Bergamo. Let's move on to B4, which is, again, pursuant to ARS Sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Benson Henderson for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Mr. Henderson's application, please?
Yes, all medical requirements are in and approved. Mr. Benson Henderson, again, is fighting in the top of the organization since 2007. He started in 2006. He was a world title holder with the UFC. He went to Bellator and competing for another belt right there as well. He is one of the contenders for the lightweight title. That being said, I do recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Mr. Henderson, are you with us?
Yes.
Thank you for chiming in. We appreciate your time. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Mr. Henderson?
Yeah, I was wondering, when was your last fight and what was the result?
The last fight was April or so, 2021, I believe.
And
The result was lost decision, split decision.
okay, and any injuries or things that have been any recent surgery or procedures or anything related to injuries?
No. Oh, last fight was November 2020. Thank you.
No further questions for me.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Pennington?
Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
Okay. One thought, Mr. Henderson. I've never known you to walk around overweight, but can you tell me about what you're walking around at now? And is the cut an issue for you?
No, cut is no issue. Same as always. A little bit less even as I get older. I'm not carrying as much weight as I was when I was younger, so easy peasy.
Okay, very good. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant Mr. Benson Henderson a 2021 mixed martial arts athlete license pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 as a fighter over age 36.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Henderson. We'll see you this weekend.
See you guys this weekend.
Okay, take care. Okay. Item number 5 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons of the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Gregory Milliard for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to this application, please?
Yes, Mr. Gregory Miller committed all the medical requirements. He's been active since 2008, fighting all over the world. He currently has a record of 10-6. He's competed with Bellator several times. If he gets approved, he will also be scheduled to fight with Bellator this weekend. I do recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Milliard?
Mr. Chairman, one for Mr. Becerra. At what weight is Mr. Millard planning on fighting?
I'm gonna fight. Good evening, guys. Commission. I'm walking around right now, 88 kilo. Well, this morning I wake up 87. On the weight that we just check out, I was 88 flat. I'm fighting at 84, so 4 kilo away. Actually, if you count how I wake up this morning was 87. I'm only 3 kilo away.
Fighting at light heavyweight, 185 pounds.
No, I'm fighting middleweight.
Middleweight.
Oh, middleweight. I'm sorry.
Middleweight, 185.
Yeah, 185.
Okay, and does he have think he has any issues in making weight?
No, I'm only 3 kilos away, so it's not a big issue. 3 kilo. I think for tomorrow I'm only gonna have 2, and the day on Friday is gonna be easy. Water, I caught it, it's easy. 2 kilos.
Okay, and Mr. Millard, would you please describe your training regimen for us?
Well, I'm training. I do boxing. It's no secret. I come from the kickboxing background. I'm cousin of Rosenstrike, the UFC fighter, Jazian Rosenstrike. Been
Okay, bros.
You lost the network.
There we go.
Yeah, everybody's in a high level, so you want to maintain that that posture, and I'm unprofessional. I'm 12 win and 6 losses. My last loss was with Julius, who's gonna fight for the light heavyweight contender. So my first match in the Bellator was a tough match. I went 3 rounds for decision. I showed that I have the caliber to keep up with these guys. So now they're giving another fight, another shot. So I work hard, and I'm proud to be here. And you guys can expect a knockout Saturday night.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Feinstein?
No further questions from me.
Thank you. A motion would be in order, potentially.
I move that pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, that we approve a new license application by Mr. Gregory Millard for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioners. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Milliard. We will see you this week.
See you Saturday.
Thank you. Item B6 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Aaron Brink for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra.
Yes, is Mr. Brink here?
Are you looking for a premise?
No, Mike, you guys are good.
Oh, we're good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I didn't see Mr. Aaron Brink here in the meeting. Hey, Jason, do you know if Mr. Brink is here in the meeting?
I do not know. He's received the information from myself and Joel, and so he should be here. I think Joel's trying to contact him.
Okay.
You want to move on with the agenda and circle back?
Yeah, Mr. Becerra, why don't we table this? What event is Mr. Brink hoping to take part in?
He's scheduled to, if approved, he's scheduled to fight Shannon Ridge on next Saturday, October 23rd for Rough Nation.
Okay. Why don't we table it? Hopefully we can get him on the phone, and we'll press on and circle back.
Okay.
Let's run into B7 pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Vernon Lewis for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra.
Yeah, Mr. Lewis also is off of their card. I don't believe he's here as well. I don't believe he's gonna pursue a license at this time.
Okay, so we just will let that one go.
Yep.
Okay, let's move into C, our old business. C1 is our COVID-19 protocols. Mr. Becerra.
Yes, per the commission's request, we invited Dr. Oda again to talk about our COVID protocols and see if there's a possibility of updating them again, going back how we had them before. Our last update on the COVID protocols was back in July. Our numbers were better then. They're a little bit more cases of COVID right now. So I don't know if Dr. Oda has some suggestions for our COVID protocols.
Yeah, well, I can tell you on the rehab hospital side. So I'm still seeing our caseload of patients that have survived severe COVID is still pretty significant here in the rehab hospital. I am looking at the COVID-19 dashboard right now to see where we are. My internet is a little bit slow right now here at the hospital, but from what I can see here, we are now at ICU still. The counts are coming down. They're coming down slowly, but they are coming down. With respect to this protocol, I don't really know if I would necessarily change anything at this point. I guess the one question that we had last time was, given how the question about whether or not the masks would need to continue if we're just kind of doing it really truly for safety purposes, or if we are doing it as just a show of good faith that we're trying to play our part. And I don't know if we've really come up with an answer to that. But at this time, I think the way that the protocol looks is sound. I don't know if I'd make a change at this time.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you for all your time and guidance throughout this interesting time. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Dr. and Mr. Oda?
Yeah, I mean, my question really revolves around the commission itself masking in a sea of a crowd that is not masked, and is there any value to that? It does. I certainly believe that masking, is helpful in certain situations when a whole group of people is masked. But the commission being only a small percentage of the people in the arena, being the only people that are masked, and we are the people that do have to communicate with one another in terms of communicating about what's happening with the fighters and the event. I'm just wondering if that's providing, and Mr. Becerra can comment if that's providing any kind of impediment to the communication of the commission during these events, and if it is, what is the real benefit of having just the commission being the only people in the building that are masked?
I mean, I'm no doctor. You guys are the experts, so I do follow the recommendations of Dr. Oda. If he feels that the protocols are good, I do agree with him as well. That's why we did approve them last time. It's up to the commission. I really leave it in your hands if you guys want to remove the mask for the commission, the working officials. Whatever you guys feel we should do, I will follow.
Thank you. Commissioner Pennington, what are your thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, I don't really have enough background to make a real informed decision or comment on it. I just know that seems to be on the decline as far as the number of COVID patients and the number of deaths, but we still have an issue, have a problem with the pandemic and the disease. So, I guess my thought is if the commission personnel, all of the officials, the referees, and all of the other officials that are working closely with the fighters, if they feel as though they should continue to be masked, that's, I think, appropriate. For others that are sitting well away from the fighters and that close activity, maybe that should be left to the discretion of the individual commissioners at that time.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have to say I have concerns about communication at these events. Masks don't make communication real easy, especially at a distance, and it's important that our ringside officials can communicate with referees and others effectively. Perhaps a voluntary mask process would make sense. Those who feel so inclined can, those who don't need to. But that's just my side of it. I will absolutely want to listen to our doctors and what their thoughts are. Commissioner Feinstein, how do you feel about this?
It looked like Dr. Oda was going to say something, so
I'll sure.
reserve my comments until
Please.
after he's spoken to.
Dr. Oda.
Sure. Let me preface this by saying you certainly won't get a black and white answer out of me on this because I cannot. And it's not a black or white situation that we're in. So I don't think there really is a good answer to any of this. All I can say is that I am swayed by what I see. So the fact that I still see people here in the rehab hospital that are struggling to breathe still, even though they're in recovery now, right? The infection is gone. Now they're just dealing with all the damage that the virus has done to them. And these are not super old people either. With that said, by and large, the people that are in the ICUs are unvaccinated patients. So if you're unvaccinated, your risk for getting severe illness is much higher than that who is vaccinated. Do people that are vaccinated still get ill? Yes. However, the severity of their illness tends to be less. So do I think that if you are unvaccinated, you should wear a mask? It's probably a good idea. If you're vaccinated, do you need to wear a mask? Probably not. If you've had COVID and you're vaccinated, even more so, you probably don't need to wear a mask. So I guess one action that I would entertain as a possibility is that given that the viral activity is going down, despite that I still see disease here in the rehab hospital, people in recovery, more people are vaccinated now, more people have had COVID. We have this venue that is packed with people that we don't know what their vaccination status is, but they're not wearing masks. I don't think that if, at the very top level, if there is a commission official who is vaccinated and feels that they don't want to wear a mask, then I don't feel that they should have to. If you want to wear one, go right ahead. I'm not necessarily saying that's what we should do, but if that's what was done, I could, as a medical professional, I could justify why that would be.
Thank you, Doctor. Just using this coming Saturday as an example, every commission, our entire personnel of the commission will either be vaccinated or tested just prior. So we'll be the cleanest group in the house, I would think. But that's just obviously one event, and it'll change from event to event. Dr. Feinstein, how do you feel about all this?
Yeah, well, I mean, as it pertains to this Saturday, I don't know if Bellator has any particular policy as it relates to masking around their athletes. So obviously we would have to follow that. But I think I would be in support of a voluntary masking policy for commission officials at the event, given that they're all going to be vaccinated. To Dr. Oda's point, again, I am in the thick of this thing as well, from a public health and medical response standpoint. But I just don't know what we're really accomplishing with just the commission masking in these situations when you've got, thousands of fans, untested, unmasked, many unvaccinated likely in the building.
Thank you, Doctor. I tend to agree. Commissioner Pennington, where are you on all this?
Mr. Chairman, I guess I agree mostly with Dr. Oda's, more or less his last comments, that if someone is fully vaccinated, if they have been tested just within the last few days, and obviously anybody working this event will be, that it should be totally voluntary whether commission staff wears the mask or not.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, it sounds like we're all on the same page. If we were to make this change, Mr. Becerra, is a motion sufficient?
I believe so. If you guys, we could add or make the edit to this COVID protocol so we can make it effective today, that all the officials, after having their vaccination or tested within 72 hours, can have the mask optional.
Thank you. Is there a commissioner who would like to take an attempt at crafting a motion?
Sure. I move that we addend the COVID-19 protocols to allow for voluntary masking of commission officials at events as long as they have complied with the policy having been either vaccinated or tested for active COVID disease within the prior 72 hours.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I think that was a good thing to do. Thank you all. Dr. Oda, thank you for your time, and it is greatly appreciated. And
my pleasure to be working with all of you, and I look forward to the day where we make a final addendum to these protocols where we don't even have to worry about it anymore.
So do I think. I speak on behalf of everyone. I think we're all looking forward to that day. So it's out there somewhere. We'll get there. We'll have to soldier on in the meantime. But thanks again. Let's go to D, our information reports. D1 is our event reports. The following events were approved by the Executive Director from September 8th, 2021 to October 8th, 2021. The first being a request from Sweet Science Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix on Friday, October 22nd, 2021. The second being a request from Rough Nation for an MMA event to be held at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix on Saturday, October 23rd. And the third is a request to change a date from Iron Boy for an event to be held at the Mesa Amphitheater in Mesa, Arizona on Saturday, November 20th, 2021. Any thoughts or questions about those events and changes?
None for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Then let's press forward. Item 2 is our 2021 event schedule. Mr. Becerra.
Yes, as of right now, we have 6 events approved for the rest of the year. We have 3 other events, all 3 in December. Those are pending. Hopefully, we could get those paid and approved so they can be presented in the next commission meeting. But if everything goes well, we should have 9 events for the rest of the year. Within 2.5 months, I think that's a great end of a year.
Indeed. It's nice to see the celebrity theater back in the mix too. So, we're getting there little by little. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions about our event schedule?
None from me, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Let's continue on to our 2021 update on the commission meeting schedule. Mr. Becerra.
Yes, we want to make an update from November 17. That's the original schedule for the next commission meeting. I want to update it and change it to November 10th. That way we can have it right before the next TGB event.
Very good. Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, what were those dates again?
The original one was on November 17. And the one I'm requesting to be updated to would be Wednesday, November 10th.
Mr. Chairman, I have no problem with that.
Thank you. Commissioner Feinstein, how do you feel about a November 10th gathering?
I'll make it work.
Very good. That's why we love you. I too will make it work. So, Mr. Becerra, count on a November 10th, if you would. I assume that's at 10 a.m.?
Yes, exactly. Everything the same, Wednesday at 10. That way, we're going to be 3 days out of the TGB event on November 13th.
Good. I think that makes perfect sense. Thank you, commissioners, for being malleable in that regard.
Any chance, and I hate to try to move the whole thing around based on me, that you could make it at 11 instead of 10 if you're going to move it to that Wednesday?
I don't have a problem. Hopefully the other commissioners can do it at 11.
Mr. Chairman, I'm good with that.
As am I. Let's do that.
We'll have it at 11.
Okay, very good. Let's continue. Call to the public. Anyone want to chat with us, Mr. Becerra?
I don't see any hands raised. Let's see if someone. No, nobody's raising their hand. Right before we continue, we could probably ask if Mr. Brink is on.
I was about to ask you the same. Yes, Mr. Brink, are you with us by chance?
Jason or Joel, have you guys located Mr. Aaron Brink? No.
Unfortunately, it looks like he might be a no-show. Our apologies.
Sorry to hear that.
Mr. Chairman, it looks as though there were 2 fighters that would be fighting for Ruth Nation.
Yes.
And that event is coming up fairly soon. Are we going to need to have a special meeting for those 2 or for any others?
I believe, if memory serves, one of those fighters was licensed at our last meeting. Is that correct, Mr. Becerra?
Yeah, they had Shannon Rich license on the last meeting. We try to avoid all special meetings. That's why we've been trying to contact each promoters and letting them know our dates for the regular commission meetings. That's why we had everything in the application, medicals, everything seemed great, but just the fighters didn't show up. So
there you go.
Just the folks that this is working for didn't show up. Huh?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Carlo, I have a question. Being that was our main event and Aaron Brink was a no-show, we're gonna look diligently, but Mr. Shannon Rich is, over the age of 36. That means, to match him properly, we're gonna have to find somebody closer to his age. Therefore, we might need a special meeting between now and next week. Is that a possibility?
If I I would like to request, today is Wednesday. I know it's hard because you were counting on Aaron Brink to do this. Your event is coming very too close next Saturday. And so we could have enough time and all the paperwork in, and hopefully the commissioners are available. I would request the commissioners, if they have a Thursday available, we're open at any time to see what time works with everybody. And if they do find somebody and we get the paperwork by Tuesday, hopefully we could have a meeting to save their main event on Thursday. Commissioners?
I'm open to, figuring out how we can, meet quickly in order to facilitate that.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the commissioners going out of their way in many cases to make these things work. We'll do what we can. I don't know if this means that Mr. Brink is out. It's going to be tricky. You're right, to find a fair fight for Mr. Rich this late in the game, but we will do what we can when we can. We have some busy people. We have a doctor on this commission, and he has young children, so he's hard to get time with, and Commissioner Pennington the same. So getting a quorum is tricky this late in the game, but we'll do what we can. More to come, I suppose. I appreciate you.
We'll talk a little bit more off the meeting, Joel.
Mr. Chairman, just one point of clarification. I do not have young children. I'm too old to have young children.
There's still time for you, Commissioner. There's still time. I appreciate you clarifying that, Commissioner. Oh, well, let's jump into the call of the commission. Pursuant to ARS Section 38-431.02K, commission members or executive directors may introduce a summary of events, questions, and/or comments. Commissioners, Mr. Director, thoughts, questions?
Mr. Chairman, for Mr. Becerra, with the upcoming boxing event scheduled in a few weeks, will there be any COVID testing for the commissioners before that? And if so, is there any possibility, if you could check and see if there's any possibility that we could arrange COVID testing either in Tucson or through some other method? I drove up to Phoenix. Actually, my wife drove up to Phoenix with me yesterday to get tested and then made a turnaround. So it was about a 5-hour trip up and back total. And, I'm more than happy to do that. But if there's any way that we can arrange testing some other way, that would be great.
I would definitely start asking from right now. I'm sure that it's not the only place where it happens, that they have people that live far from the venue that need to get tested. So I would definitely start communicating with TGB to get any type of a result, or not a result, a different way, if they could specify what type of testing they would prefer, and that way, hopefully, you could get tested in Tucson and won't have to drive all the way to Phoenix.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the airport is doing either PCR testing or the quick test. So, that is something that would be easily available and I would have documentation on. And it might be appropriate for others that might be working the event to be tested in Tucson versus up in Phoenix.
I would definitely ask.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra.
And just to confirm, because I got multiple emails, we do not need to be tested for the event on Saturday.
Yes, for this event on Saturday, you are not working officials. You are there representing the commission, but you're not going to be communicating with the fighters or in and out the locker rooms. So I was told that you guys do not need to get tested.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Becerra, for
Sorry about
sorting
that. I got that news a little bit late, Mr. Pennington.
That's okay. That's just fine. We were listening to a really good book, so no problem.
I do have Mr. Juan Estrada here. He would like to address the commission.
Please, Mr. Estrada, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I just want to bring up a couple issues that have been coming up, and a couple items that I want to bring up to the commission. To begin with is I want to make sure that we discuss double events. I know we had the opportunity for this weekend to have 2 big TV events. I just want to assure you that we are working and we will be ready to be able to host 2 events at that caliber when the option presents itself again. We're currently working to make this commission bigger, and again, I can assure you that this commission will be ready and is ready, just like California, just like Nevada, to host multiple events as long as they're from different disciplines. Also, I want to point out another thing that I've been getting feedback from several promoters. I just want to make sure that everyone on this call, including commissioners, guests, officials, that when these big events come, they give us assigned seats. We just got to make sure that we remain in those assigned seats. We got to be respectful of the cameras that are around the area, and certain locations where we can be wherever we want, but we have to be respectful of their camera time, their TV time. With that said, I'm just asking commission guests, commissioners, officials, anyone who has assigned seats to please, respect the promoters and remain seated unless you have to move or for whatever reason. Another thing I want to bring up is we are continuously holding inspectors meeting. We brought them back. We want to make sure that our inspectors remain sharp. They're the ones that are mostly on TV. They're the ones that represent the commission. I know a lot of people don't, show a lot of respect for them, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows that it all begins from our inspectors. Our inspectors are the face of the commission. And again, I want to assure you that we are working with them. We are continuously training, hosting trainings with them, in addition to hosting trainings with the referees, the judges, and everything else. We want to make sure that our commission remains on top. In that way, with that said, again, I just want to assure you guys that we will be ready for double events. We want to be that California, we want to be that Nevada. I think we can be better than that. Also, the last thing I want to bring up is that on this last boxing show at Del Sol show, we were able to get, if not all, most of the promoters together, which is not very often seen. I do have a picture. They're pretty sure that picture circulating around the platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and all that other things. But again, I want to thank those promoters that are here for being team players and getting together and putting on a good show. It showed a lot of respect for the state of Arizona and showed that we know how to represent them. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Estrada, thank you. It's always a concern, I think, going through COVID as to what the commission looks like as you hopefully start to emerge from it and gain events, double events at times. So being ahead of it like this and making sure we're at full strength, I think next year, knock on wood, things start to open up and more events come our way. So making sure that we are fully up to speed and at full strength is critically important. So I can't thank you guys enough for your efforts to make sure we're ready to go. Thank you. Commissioners, any thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, in that line, has Mr. Becerra, has a assistant for Mr. Becerra been selected?
No, as of right now, they froze all openings. There's no hiring in the whole department. So no, not yet. Hopefully soon.
Well, it sure sounds as though, you're so busy right now. It sure would be great to get some extra help for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other? Okay. Thank you, Doctor. I have nothing. Commissioner Pennington, any other thoughts?
I have no other thoughts, sir.
Okay. Thank you all. I assume Mr. Brink is not going to visit with us today. Mr. Brink, are you there? It's last call.
We do have, if we could go real quick back to call to the public. We do have someone raising their hand, if that's okay.
I'm sure that's okay. Put them on.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
DJ?
What's up, guys? This was an awesome meeting. Thank you guys very much for that. One thing I did have a question. Have we, or the commission, considered any more about the global rule set? Considering that one championship is still looking at Arizona as a prospect. From what we heard, Colorado has picked that up, and one championship sounds like they'll be doing their first U.S. show in Colorado. So I was just curious as to what the conversation has been there. If
It has
possible.
to be added to our statute. So as of right now, there's no changes. As soon as there's any update to that, we'll definitely start letting you guys know to root for the good side. So, but as of right now, we don't have any updates on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you both. Let's run down to G, which is the announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, November 10th, and is subject to change based on a quorum. Did I get that right, Mr. Becerra?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. And H is the possibility of adjournment. Is there a motion for such?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
And I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all for your time and interest, and I will see most of you, I think, this weekend. Looking forward to that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We look forward to seeing you and the rest of the commission this Saturday.
Yep. Safe travels, Commissioner. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks again.